Okay, so you've been watching all these videos about manifestation and law of attraction, and everybody's carrying on about how you can make your dreams reality, and you can make more money. If you're earning X amount now, you can earn Y amount like in a couple weeks, and all these promises, and all these people are rich and they're famous and they have money and they're going on holidays and etc, 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 and you're sitting there and you're broke and you're down and out and you really want to do this and you keep trying every single day and nothing happens. Why? If you watch my previous video about energy and manifestation, you'll get some idea of how it actually works, the mechanics behind it basically. But let's talk about what happens when you're down and out and you're broke and you can't get that whole feeling appreciation going, because it's difficult when you're in that situation. It really is, I know. But if you like my videos, just hit the like button, go and share it with other people who might be interested. Give me some comments, give me some feedback. Let me know if you have any questions, if you're enjoying my videos, and especially hit the subscribe button and that little bell to notify you when new videos come out. So, when you're broke, you're in a place that is quite depressing, correct? I know. And when you're in that place of depression and anxiety and panic and fear, in order to try and feel it real and get that feeling appreciation that you need in order to do manifestation work, it's practically impossible. So what do you do? I want to take you through a couple methods that would probably help. And as I say, if you watch my previous video about energy and manifestation, some of the stuff in here will probably make a bit more sense. So definitely check that out. So with manifestation, what you're basically trying to do is do a visualize. Well, get yourself into a relaxed state of gnosis. And then visualize what you want, get the feeling appreciation, and then transfer that intent from the conscious mind into the subconscious mind, where it will sit and do its work and bring you all your dreams. But the feeling appreciation part is probably the most important part of the whole thing. You need to feel it now, as if you have it. But you don't, and you're broke, as I said, and you just can't feel it. So what you do is, there's a thing called in magic, in chaos magic specifically, but everybody uses it. There's a thing called Sigil Magick, and I have spoken about it previously on my channel. I'm not going to go into how to create it or how to activate a sigil. There's a lot of videos out there. Some are good, some are bad. I'm going to be creating a demonstration video, and it will be on my Patreon page. So if you're interested in it and finding out how I do it and a bit more information, background, etc., then go to my Patreon page, and you'll probably find it there by the time this video is up. So what we do is we create a sigil. Now, a sigil is a glyph. It's a representation of your intent, which becomes unrecognizable to your conscious mind, but your subconscious mind remembers because it files everything. So with the glyph, you then transfer from your conscious to your subconscious. And that seems pretty basic, but it's still difficult. A lot of people do battle with meditation. They may not be able to get themselves into a deep state, so I've got some little tips and tricks for that as well, which I'm going to mention just now. But you don't have to worry so much about the feeling appreciation. Sigil work definitely Sigil Magick definitely works. Trust me, people use it. Try and find something videos by Grant Morrison. He spoke about sigils at a conference, Grant Morrison is a comic writer for DC Comics, Vertigo, and things like that. But he is also a magician, and a chaos magician, and he speaks about sigils quite a bit. But he's got some very interesting stuff that he talks about. And with sigils, you basically put your intent into the glyph. So while you're creating your sigil, you're thinking about your intent, you are visualizing it, and you are feeling it to a certain degree. So you put it into the glyph, and then you activate it, and it enters into the subconscious. So that's the whole process of the intent and the manifestation taken care of, because you are using the actual sigil magic and the sigil work in order to do the manifestation, whereas other people might be doing meditation, visualization, and feeling appreciation. You're using sigil work in order to do the same thing, basically. But now you need to transfer that, as I said, from the conscious to the subconscious mind. If you battle with meditation and getting into a relaxed state, then there are two things, and I'm going to use sound, because sound is probably one of the best things, actually, for getting yourself into different states of consciousness. So first of all, have a look at Solfeggio frequencies. It's Solfeggio, Solfeggio frequencies. And I think I spoke about them in a previous video. If I haven't, then I will go more in depth. It's definitely spoken about on my website, leewjohnson.com. I remember writing an article about it. So Solfeggio frequencies are frequencies that are in tune with nature, and they used to be the musical scale before the 12-tone scale came in, which is what our modern music's based on. One of the most famous modern musical pieces that's done on the 528 frequency, which is a Solfeggio frequency, 528 hertz, is Imagine. So it's definitely it is used in modern times, but generally the music is the 12-tone, and the 12-tone actually tends to make you feel ill and uneasy. You might not notice it, but it does, especially when you start listening to the Solfeggio frequencies. You'll definitely notice a difference in how you feel. I always find that if I listen to them while I'm working, I'm incredibly motivated, and I just carry on working. I don't need to take breaks and all the time, and I don't procrastinate as much because I'm a big procrastinator. So have a look for the Solfeggio frequencies. There are 9 in all, and each one pertains to a different chakra, if you're interested in that, but also pertains to different physical aspects as well. Physical, mental, and spiritual aspects. So the lower frequencies, for instance, the 174, can be used to help with pain. The next one can be used to help with DNA regeneration. And then it starts going up into the chakras until you get to the crown chakra, the pineal gland. Oh no, sorry, the pineal gland's in the third eye. So anyway, have a look at them. Now, the reason I mention the Solfeggio frequencies is because if you actually listen to the pure tones, and I will link to a Spotify album in the description below, and the album is pure tones. It's split into 2 sections though. It goes through all 9 as the pure tone, and then it goes into double or dual frequency. And those are the ones I actually like. They state it as being advanced, but I'm not sure why. But those are the ones I like. So if you actually start listening to them, when you are sitting quietly with your eyes closed, your back up straight, you can put your palms up if you want to. Doesn't really matter. But this is a position of meditation. So put your headphones on. Start playing the Solfeggio frequencies. Give yourself about 5 minutes, and you will be in a deep state of consciousness. Or subconsciousness, whatever you want to call it. Just try it. I'm telling you, you're going to be in a deep state, extremely deep state of relaxation. So that works excellently for the relaxation part. Now, there's another one I want to mention is 6 Hertz. 6 Hertz is the frequency of the theta brainwave. And theta is the state where you are moving between wakefulness and sleep. And this is the state you want to be in when you want to try and transfer something or the intent from the conscious to the subconscious. It's that hypnagogic state that where you start seeing images and hearing voices just as you're falling asleep. And that's the best time to actually push things into the subconscious. So what you can do is after you get into that deep state, then transfer to the 6 Hertz frequency. I'll also put a link for that to a Spotify album or song. It's an hour long in the description. But the 6 Hertz is the frequency of the theta brainwave. So if you listen to the 6 Hertz frequency, then you bring your brain waves into a theta state. And through that, you then easily transfer the intent. So what you do is, after you've listened to the Solfeggio frequencies and you're in a deep state of relaxation, you then take your sigil, you put it in your hand, and you just gaze at it. Don't stare. Don't try and focus on it, just a gentle gaze. And you then play the 6 Hertz. So you make sure your brainwaves get into a theta state. And you just carry on gazing. Now, what you'll probably find, I'm going to mention this more in the video I'm going to create on my Patreon page about actual sigil creation and activation. But what you'll find is that I want to mention it now because it's not something that I've been watching a lot of videos about sigil work, and not everybody's mentioning these things. So when you're gazing at the sigil, you might find that it goes blank. The sigil actually disappears, or you might find that it starts flashing. Now, there's 2 types of flashing. One is where you're actually gazing at the sigil and it starts flashing. The other type of sigil flashing that people speak of is where you gaze at the sigil for a while and then you look at a blank wall or a blank piece of white paper and you see an impression of the sigil on the wall or piece of paper. Now what you can do with this is if you're using colour in your sigil to represent your intent, for instance, if it's abundance, wealth, money, things like that, you might want to use green. But draw your sigil in red. Red would be significant of passion, of fire, of getting things done, bringing things quickly, lighting a firecracker up your client's arse, things like that. So you actually draw your sigil in red, and then you gaze at it, and then look at a blank wall or a blank piece of paper, and you'll see green. It's the complementary colour to what you actually drew it. So you've got 2 different types of aspects working here. So you've got your fire, which is your red, which is fire and passion and really getting the ball rolling, and you've got your green. You can obviously do it the other way around. You can draw your sigil in green and then flash it in red. But I like to do it the other way. So because you're trying to trick the consciousness into not knowing what you're doing really, because your subconscious already knows. So you want your consciousness to stay out of it because it just starts eating away at the intent. What if this, what if that, and it just starts hammering it and it just goes off course. So you want your consciousness to piss off basically. So that's my little trick. If you are having difficulty with the meditation and especially with the feeling appreciation, use Sigil Magick. Get yourself into a deep relaxation through the use of the Solfeggio frequencies, and then switch to the 6 Hertz frequency music or pure tone to get your brain into a theta state, and that's how you activate your sigil and move it into the subconscious. Give it a try. Let me know if it works, if it gets you out of your state of moneylessness and brokeness, and actually helps your manifestations along. So let me know your experiences in the comments below, and you'll see me in my next video. I've stopped saying I'll see you because you're not going to. I'm not going to see you because you're not on this video. I am, unfortunately for you. But anyway, until next time. Cheers.